This is Richard Sweeney, University Librarian, NJIT. The podcast today is called Understanding and Engaging NJIT College Students, based on a podcast that was done on March the 4th, 2014. To obtain a copy of this PowerPoint, email me at sweeney@njit.edu. This podcast is being created on April 21st, 2014. Our goal today is to summarize some of the expectations, characteristics, and behaviors of 9 NJIT college freshman students who were interviewed in a focus group on March the 4th, 2014, after they had completed their first semester at NJIT. All 9 had previously participated in a focus group just before they started at NJIT on August 26, 2013. We had 9 freshmen represented in red in this chart, and we had 4 upperclassmen represented in blue on this chart who participated in the March 4th focus group. The freshmen who were represented here with asterisks are all freshmen who participated in the August 26th focus group but did not participate in the focus group on March the 4th. The quote marks that are used here indicate the exact quotes of the 9 freshmen and 4 upperclassmen who were interviewed. For more information on this subject, contact Richard Sweeney at sweeney@njit.edu or Blake Hagerty at blake.hagerty@njit.edu. The full recording of this focus group can be found at the URL on this screen. So what did we learn? What was their biggest surprise so far? The answer is math. Basically, how hard math is. And it came out loud and clear from almost all the students, one way or another. This was a big shock to them. The other freshmen' biggest surprises included they were happy to get over a 70 on an exam. These are students who typically did very well, getting 90s and 100s on exams in high school. There were also students who found that the work was particularly difficult. The women students were surprised to be, in some cases, the only girls in the classroom. Some of the women said that they were the only girl that could see sitting on the campus center floor. The other surprises were that they were expected to be accountable, be responsible, and that they're going to really have to manage their time effectively. When asked did they seek help, 8 of the 9 freshmen agreed that they had sought help their first semester at NJIT. Where did they go for this help? Well, they went to the Murray Center for Women at NJIT, and they found this extremely helpful resource. In addition, some of the students went to CAPE. CAPE is the Center for Academic and Personal Enrichment at NJIT, and it's commonly referred to as the General Tutoring Center.
I've also used CAPE for tutoring, but I go to the Writing Center for Humanities, and I think that's a big help because it's teachers who understand what you're doing and they're helping you revise your papers without writing it themselves.
In addition to CAPE, they went to the Writing Center the Humanities offers. Some of the students actually formed a small study group with their friends. They collaborated before exams. Some of the students felt that studying in a group helped them to get over problems they had in their learning. Some of the students were actually expected to participate in a learning community, or what we call on this campus community connections. Some of the students looked to upperclassmen friends for help when they needed it.
I didn't really seek out help in the beginning of the year, but seeing that things got harder later on, I sought out help with upperclassmen friends that I made throughout the first semester, and also I would also do study groups with a bunch of my friends to be prepared for commons and finals.
They would do study groups with a bunch of those friends, and it helped them to get through. Some of the students went to the new Math Tutoring Center, where they especially were happy about the one-on-one help. This theme on one-on-one help, individual assistance, and one-on-one tutoring comes up consistently throughout the freshman experience. They prefer to have that experience. And indeed, it's one of the reasons why in colleges all over the country that they are flipping the course, meaning that they are taking the lectures out of the classroom and putting the student one-on-one help into the classroom. Only 5 freshmen actually participated in the community connections, but they were very happy with the success of the learning connections. What was the trigger for seeking help? Well, the main one was, okay, I can't do this by myself. Some students actually went through and got their first F before they realized that they needed help. Unfortunately, when they do this, it's almost too late when they try to seek out help. We need an earlier intervention. So how many of these freshmen expect to graduate in 4 years? 8 of the 9 freshmen expected to graduate in 4 years. This is a much higher percentage than the actual typical number of freshmen who go on to graduate in 4 years or in their time at NJIT. Who was working their freshman year? Only 2 of the 9 freshmen were working their freshman year at NJIT, and they were working less than 20 hours per week. Now, this may be skewed by the fact that some of the freshmen were athletes, and they would not be working. What was their favorite classroom learning experience so far at NJIT? Well, the general answer was they want active learning. They want to write the papers themselves, compile their own research, do their own interviews, and research their own topics. This is the active part of learning. They want to do things. What was your favorite classroom learning experience so far at NJIT? Well, the answer generally was active learning. What does that mean? It means that you're hands-on, you're involved in things. It's something that you can relate to.
My best experience would have to have been in my CS 104 class, but generally required, and we did a lot of hands-on activities, you can say. My favorite was assembling and disassembling a computer. I really enjoyed it, which I didn't think I actually would.
This is the kind of experience that increases engagement. Another response that we got that was similar was from a freshman engineering design student who took a course and created a Lego robot. He described it as really fun. This degree of passion is what we're looking for in our students. FED 101, according to the students, was very hands-on. That describes the kind of activities that they want to do. Others say that the teacher worked with each of us, or all of us, and kind of opened their eyes to a different side of writing. They were involved, and the teacher was helping them one-on-one. They were also happy with a lot of the classroom discussions. What was the least favorite classroom learning experience so far at NJIT? Well, the answer was, how do I relate to this? Why am I learning this? They did not see the relevance. It's just the opposite of the others. In addition, some students said they were used to in high school being helped directly by their math teacher, their professor. But when they came here, they didn't get that level of help. One student said they didn't like Calc 1 at all, but they said that they felt they had a really bad professor. Maybe perhaps a professor who did not teach effectively or could not communicate effectively. We often hear they weren't really being explained much, or they had to explain it more than one time, and they still weren't able to grasp it.
Yeah, I would say Physics 111, the lecture class, was one of my least favorites because you're in like a room with like 30, 40 kids or so, and you don't have like that individual attention from like teachers that you can get. So it's hard to get focused.
They want to flip the classroom. They want the lecture to be outside of the classroom on podcasts, and they want the individual attention, the one-on-one, all of the personal kind of activity to happen in the classroom. There's a study that was done back in 2010, and what it said was that the students who in colleges went from studying outside of class 24 hours per week in 1961 to 14 hours per week in 2003, 11 years ago. Has this held true even to today? When I asked the freshmen how many hours a week they studied, only 2 said they studied less than 10 hours per week. 4 said they studied 10 to 14 hours per week. And 3 freshmen said they studied more than 15 hours a week, but less than 20 hours per week. So none of them studied as much as they did back in the 60s, or what the faculty expects from them in terms of outside class study. Should students bring laptops, tablets, and smartphones? And should those be allowed in the classroom? Well, it depends according to the students. It would be easier in some cases. They could take notes on their laptop. But the one thing that they said was it could be disruptive and they would get lost. So some of the students feel that it's not a good thing to have in the classroom. And some said it depends on the type of class that you're going into. If it's an HTML class, you need a computer. If it's a chemistry, physics, or math class, it's much better that you don't have it in front of you. And perhaps in certain classes it might be okay if just for taking notes. What are the traits of their favorite instructors? One of the students said that even if the instructor was strict, it was not hard to pass that instructor's classes. This tells us that it's not the rigor that's the problem. It's the problem that they need to be able to learn and pass the courses. Some students told us that even faculty, where they weren't students of that faculty member, took the time to help them. And almost all the students felt they needed a professor that would help them get up and just connect with the class. They don't want professors who just present their own opinion. And they actually do want a professor who cares about them and wants them to pass. In what ways were you prepared for or unprepared for college, they were asked. Some admitted they were prepared and others not. Some said high school did not prepare them. They don't think that it really helped them, what they are experiencing in their classroom. While others said that high school did help them to some degree, but not on other things. So how many of you feel that technology has made a positive impact on your learning your first year? Every freshman and every upperclassman felt that the technology has had a positive effect upon their learning. If you're not using the technology in the classroom, you're disregarding what they're telling us. One of the students even said that they used the technology this year because of the snowstorm to continue having the class when the snow canceled the class. Other students said that they used the technology for YouTube, Khan Academy, and how-to videos to learn almost anything that they couldn't learn face-to-face or from their teacher. How many of you feel that the technology has the positive impact? One student said it's the PowerPoints. If you put the PowerPoints in front of them, even though they can listen to it, they felt it reinforces their learning. When they were asked, do they have any suggestions on how to make improvements? One student said, this is an upperclassman student, said that by the 3rd year he had began to have better professors. But he felt that the first semester he should have had better professors. Can we move to better professors in our first year? One faculty member asked, what could have or should have NJIT done so that the math transition would have been easier or more smooth? We needed to change the problems to ones that were correlating to the problems on the exam. They want to get a lot of example math problems that they typically would expect to get on exams. They also want to make sure that it's understood before they even start, that paying attention in class and doing 1 or 2 practice exams is not going to be enough to get you through. They also said that there's a need for a preliminary math student session, maybe a month before you start the course, and that they could see the assignments in the course and know exactly what they're going to expect. How did they summarize in 3 words their experience at NJIT? Well, every student used the word challenging, difficult, or rigorous. It's pretty much unanimous. There were other words that they used as well, but these came out the most. Give them a big hand, please. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for watching, understanding, and engaging NJIT college students. To obtain a copy of this PowerPoint, email me at sweeney@njit.edu. Thank you.